Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Torchwood. Last time on Torchwood, we had End of the Road. The Torchwood team met up with Olivia Colasanto, who explained the whole thing with her grandfather, Angelo, and how he and three men tried to figure out the miracle that was Jack Harkness, Captain Jack Harkness. And, we basically have our villains now being, the three families. And, but the plot twist of the episode was actually that elderly, Angelo Colasanto died. And they were trying to figure out how it worked, and they figured out it was a null field, basically, that nullified the effect of the miracle, so that he could die. And then the whole team got split up, and that's basically that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes of Torchwood, Doctor Who Classic, oh god, and the Sarah Jane Adventures that I've reacted to. And with that being said, let's get right into this episode of Torchwood. Here we go. 2 months later...
Government has announced that all medical overflow camps will now...
I didn't think we'd have a time jump right at the end.
Emergency law.
Oh, it's Gwen. Why is Gwen breaking into a weed store? Get pharmaceuticals probably for her dad.
Hugh Jenkins has gone up in smoke, and all he had was a bad back.
Help yourself, hurry up. We haven't got time.
Yeah.
Go.
That's funny.
Get over here.
And the police. Man, 2 months! I didn't think we would have a friggin' time jump in the last 2 episodes. That's very odd.
Because of the hours which you imposed?
I know, I forgot. Well, look, we're gonna be here anyway. Why don't you clean this place up a little bit? Empty out some trash bins or something.
Fucking Rex.
Really?
Well, this is interesting. This 2 months is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet.
I believe that the author was in that cellar. He saw Jack Harkness die, decided to write about it, and his name was Victor Podesta.
And we follow the Podesta family.
Oh,
all right.
Sir,
That's one.
This is where it gets interesting.
With blood on it? Is that blood?
We have blood. We have DNA.
Well,
We can trace the family.
All right, everybody. Let's make a DNA profile and start looking for matches.
okay.
Come on, let's go, let's go.
Group up, start working.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I've got... This says Lucy Staten Meredith.
You'll be traveling under that name. In fact, that is your name from now on. But the families
Okay.
want to meet you in person. They're taking you to the blessing.
Whoa, okay. The blessing is in Shanghai?
We won't meet again.
But you're handsome.
No funeral, no chance to mourn him. For all I know, he was just thrown into a furnace, still alive.
I can't even have a bit of peace in my own bathroom.
Tuh.
You don't barge in like this anyway.
Husband, Rhys Williams. You never shared a surname, which says a lot. But we're still missing one person. So where's Mary?
Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say anything other than she wanted to keep her name. There's nothing wrong with that. They don't see anything. Is it Torchwood tech? Is it a cloak? Oh, hidden door. Ah, rats! It's just a rat. Just leave.
Not rats.
Oh, whatever.
Bad news. DNA trace, it came out negative. No leads, nothing.
Bullshit.
There's no bloodline from John Podesta on file.
Well, this is a lovely place to live. Now, who is this dude?
Isn't she pretty? Are you eating that food, honey, or are you
Oh,
wearing it?
jeez!
Sweet. So sweet.
He grew his hair out.
I've been told that you have certain information that I need.
Have these characters even met
Apologize
before?
for the subterfuge, but I do happen to have the most recognizable face on the planet.
No, he always had his hair. Oh!
We don't want you arrested for murder.
Thank you, sir.
They can arrest me for that.
Huh. Yeah.
Now you tell me.
Give me the pot.
Quickly, you bastard, you murdering bastard! Come on, tell me, before I get the boys round, before I shout your name out loud.
Yeah, to get the boys. Oh, it'll be just like season 3.
What do you want?
I have the name of the man who created the miracle.
Oh shit. Oswald has info.
Hello? Can you see my car keys? I can't find them anywhere.
Wow.
Now drink this. It won't harm you. You've had it before.
It's true. I made you drink it.
I need you to have no
Is it
memories of
retcon?
me, so I can leave you with nowhere to put your hat. Or you can drink it. Option 2's better.
Oh, that's funny.
And his name's Harry Bosco.
Harry Bosco.
His name, over and over again.
Mister? Harry Bosco.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is
Why
that...
don't you search him?
You think you're clever, Oswald?
Ah.
Is that really?
Fake name. I knew it was too easy.
The name.
Yeah.
Harry Bosco's a process. It goes back to Vietnam.
Why would she be handling this Harry Bosco process?
To be fair, it's a good question. Why
Nah,
would the
alright.
families hire Julie to do all this in the first place?
What's she translating?
What's she mistranslating? Because the 3 families changed their name, now Julie's changing words?
Yeah.
Guess you're my breakfast meeting. I'm Julie Kitzinger.
No, you're Lucy Staten Meredith. Congratulations, you failed the test.
Tuh. Yeah, that's your name. It's what Zoom said.
We need you to write history.
I could do that.
If you say so.
He didn't say it's a blessing my life was saved. He said the blessing saved my life. They mistranslated
There you
it
go.
on purpose. The blessing saved my life.
Yeah.
It's in Shanghai.
The blessing's in Shanghai.
How the hell do we get to Shanghai?
Oh, for God's sake, you're not serious. What?
Well, yes, Reese, we're serious. Come on.
It wasn't hidden from the bloody Chinese.
There's a second blood bank in Buenos Aires, a blood bank destroyed by fire 24 hours before Shanghai, 5 days before the miracle.
Wait a minute.
I hope Reese's
Wait a minute,
globe
I
ball
know what you're
works.
talking about. Right
Like he
there.
uses it to solve the
John
case.
Forrester died AIDS. We don't even know what the blessing is. Maybe it's some sort of ritual. Maybe it happens in
Come
both
on, Reese.
at once.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, God.
In the old days, to find a dead body, you use a sniffer dog, but they've gone the way of the miner's budgie. Brand new app. Thermal imaging.
Wow.
Brilliant, it is.
I don't think apps work like that. I think you need a specific camera to do that, and
Sorry, look there.
This is my house.
a smartphone wouldn't have
My
that.
name is Mary Cooper.
My duty to take him from this place and deliver him unto safekeeping until such time as he can be disposed of according to the laws of the land.
Man, this dude's creepy. Man, fuck this guy.
What do you want to do?
Go to Shanghai.
Yeah.
I don't care if we have to walk.
Huh.
I will travel the whole bloody world to put this right, Jack.
I mean, technically you can walk to Shanghai. Just go into the channel in the tunnel.
I need your permission to go off grid, sir.
Right, Shanghai. Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires?
They're on both sides. They're opposites of each other.
Sides of the world, quite literally opposite sides of the earth, yeah?
Your husband would kill me. He'd make me Category 1 with his own bare hands. You would kill me, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Ah, damn it,
Is
Reese.
that what you want? No. I'm coming with you. There's no choice. There's not a choice in the whole of the world.
Damn. He's good. Damn. I do kind of like that they played against Reese's thirst for blood.
Look, the Only problem is I have to sign for the case. Now, I'm running this thing undercover, but if anyone checks the embassy notifications, we're screwed.
Well, hopefully no one does. Dang it! You should have used a different name. Like Chip Buntley or something.
Come this way, Miss Kissinger.
It's Miss Meredith.
I don't really care.
Tuh.
The men enjoy those sorts of games.
What the hell was the point of changing names?
It started as soon as we dug deep enough. I think it's the blessing's attempt to communicate.
What is the blessing? You have to tell me what it is.
And it's a living thing?
The penultimate episode.
No idea.
Come on, show it to me. What? It's moving.
The guy in old Shanghai.
You're not dying, don't say that.
His blood is moving.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Huh. Yeah.
I think it's showing us the way.
That's really weird.
It's the blessing. It's somewhere over there. And I think whatever it is, it's calling you, Jack.
Huh. Okay. That's weird. It's called... Alright. If you say so. Okay. Another good one. Another good one. I do wish... Ooh, man. It's... Maybe we'll talk about this after the finale and stuff, but... Boy, do I wish that this was maybe 2 or 3 episodes shorter, so we could have just had a lot more tight writing in this, because now we're getting into some really great stuff. But the episodes that were like, okay, they're kind of slow, they did have to set stuff up. So yeah. But that's beside the point. So, this episode, really love this episode. I'm excited for the finale. And if the finale is as good as these past 3 episodes have been, then we're looking at a solid conclusion, I think, to Torchwood. Yes, maybe not as many people have pointed out, not as good as Children of Earth, but I think this is going to be really solid, actually. Granted, this is a whole it'll be a solid conclusion to Torchwood. Yeah, but there's audio dramas and stuff, so. Which I'll probably listen to at my own pace, so I don't know when I'm going to do those. I'm out of Pepsi. Hooray. Anyway, not the point. The point is, let's talk about this episode. 2 months later. That was interesting. That was an interesting little twist on the episode that they decided in the last 2 episodes to do a 2-month jump. But it made sense, like, why they did that. Because they needed to show where everyone was, we needed to get Gwen, basically situated in Wales. Not just, oh, she's being deported. But it's like, alright, she was deported back to Wales, and then we had to set up, alright, here's how. It's like, we're already to the point where she's got everything on lockdown in Wales. We needed to show Jack and Esther in Scotland. We needed to show that, it took a long time for Oswald Danes to get here, and in that time he got this information and stuff. And we also had to show, what Rex has been doing in those 2 months. He's been really working the CIA on this, and so it's like, it basically, like, at first I was like, okay, well, we're really skipping over stuff. I feel like there was stuff we needed to do, right after that. But I understand the 2-month jump. Now that I've seen it, it's like, okay, I understand why they did that. A little jarring at first, because, we have to get situated back with everyone, basically. We have to we have to reestablish where everyone is. Like, okay, they're Gwen and Reese, they're doing stuff in Wales. Esther and Jack are in Scotland. Oswald Danes is showing up. Rex is still working at the CIA and stuff like that. So, but it makes sense. Once you actually watch it, the 2-month jump does make sense. So, that's good. And basically, it's kind of like they skipped an episode, basically. It's like, yeah, we could show an episode of, getting everything together, and then we go into this episode, but it's like, why don't we just jump over that, and then just, like, let's just get going. We gotta get moving. We gotta put things into place. So, yeah. I wrote down John Podesta. That was kind of interesting. They're gonna need to figure out, I mean, Rex has figured out that there is a mole in the CIA. He doesn't know who, but he does know there's a mole in the CIA, and so that's why he was kind of careful about it. And he was like, "Hey, well, just send me the story so I can, just to look over." And it's like, "Oh, well, you don't need to." It's like, "Oh, just send me the story." But there's nothing there. Just send me the story. So I'm wondering even if he's suspicious of her too. Now, the whole thing when he got to Buenos Aires and it's like, okay, he has to sign for the package, and it's like, okay, he has to sign for the package, and it's like, okay, well, as long as no one, checks embassy records, they're not going to find us. Immediately, she gets an alert about that he is in Buenos Aires, which is cause for concern that, he has found the other part of the blessing, basically. So that's one of those things where it's like, I feel like can you sign in a different name? Like, if I was going there, I probably wouldn't sign Alex Lament if I'm trying to stay off the radar. But that's the thing is, I mean, I guess if you're going there, you are, doing this as part of the CIA, and you are doing this as part of the CIA, so you probably do have to, use your real name with the CIA and stuff. But on the other hand, I don't know. It just seems like, that could have been avoided if you just signed a different name. Like if I went there and signed, like, and I had to sign for something, just sign it, I don't know, Jon Snow. It's like, that could work. I don't know. Or, hell, sign it John Smith. That's friggin' Torchwood and Doctor Who. That makes more sense. But, yeah, that is one thing where it's like, oh, well, as long as they don't check the embassy records, ping! Oh, hey, I'm checking the embassy records. And, oh, look, Rex is in Buenos Aires. So, yeah. So, that's interesting. The whole thing with the mole is interesting. I'm glad he's basically figured it out. Like, there is a mole, but at the same time, he doesn't know who it is. He just knows there is a mole. That's why he's playing this, he's keeping everything very quiet, only really telling this stuff to Shapiro. Because I guess he must know that Shapiro isn't a mole. Which is possible. Like, maybe that could be a twist that he is, but I don't know. I don't feel like he would be. I think he's just working with the CIA, so yeah. Excuse me. Let's see. So we had Shanghai. The blessing is in Shanghai and also in Buenos Aires, which is interesting. So we got a bit more of the blessing. It's not just in one place, but it's actually connecting two cities on different sides of the world. So that was interesting, and because when they were talking about, okay, is it in Shanghai or is it in Buenos Aires and stuff, and Reese was just playing with that inflatable globe, and I was just like, oh, please tell me he figures it out, because he randomly has an inflatable globe, and he did, and I was like, yes, thank you. So that was fun. Oh, excuse me. So that's interesting, and we got Jilly going over to Shanghai to keep going with her work with the families. Interesting, all that stuff with Harry Bosco. It's like, trying to manipulate the story, and doing stuff sort of lower, changing translations just slightly. So when you actually go back to the direct, what did they say? The Wu dialect or something. If you go back directly, it says, the blessing saved my life. It's like, it's very direct, but you change that into Mandarin, you change that into English, you change, one or two words in the Mandarin, then translate it to English, and it's like, well, there you go. That's, it changes that very subtly. So I did like that. I thought that was interesting, and, the whole explanation of, talking about Harry Bosco and, how they did that in Vietnam, that was brilliant. That made a lot of sense. So I like that. And then, and now Jilly is being tasked with making history, basically. She was thinking like, okay, do you need me to make a press conference? Do you need me to start a campaign? But it's interesting, we need you to make history, like basically write history in favor of the blessing, which is very interesting, I think. And because, the whole thing, it was like, okay, kind of, I won't necessarily say one of our villains, because she's not, doing, well, I mean, she kind of is, because she's working for the villains. But it's like, one of our main characters, like, well, what does she do? She's a PR person. And it's like, well, that's very odd. That's why, what does that have to do with anything? But I like where we're going with that. Everything about what she's doing and stuff, just because she's a PR person. So yeah, that's interesting. I wrote down Oswald and Gwen. Oswald showing up at Gwen's house, basically. That was interesting. Now, I don't think Oswald Danes and Gwen have ever met in the season yet. I don't think they have. So that was interesting, and then him having information, because that's the thing, it's like, I almost feel like the character kind of lost purpose. Like, after a while, it's just like, so what is he doing exactly? It's like, okay, he's with Jilly, and he's like, he's getting more attention and more, stuff on this miracle. And he's sort of being like this sort of savior or prophet about the miracle. But it's like, after that, they sort of drop him. And it's just like, well, what does he do now? And it's like, well, he has information. He gets information, and he's taking it to Torchwood now. It's like, all right, that's interesting. It just seems like, they created this character, and they didn't exactly know what to do with him, and so then they just sort of kept going, and then they found plausible reasons for why he's still part of the plot. Him finding information, and fucking saying, it's like, I know how to hide myself on the internet, and it's just, it's like, which we've talked about before, that he would know how to do that, being a pedophile, finding child pornography, which is so fucked up. But fuck, that's good writing is the problem. It's such good writing, but it's so horrible. But yeah, and we've mentioned that before. He's said that before, and so he's doing that, basically to prowl around for information this time around. So that's actually kind of more interesting. And he's such a bastard. He's such a bastard, if I can borrow an accent really quick, because I feel like the word bastard is just a lot more fun to say with an accent. Maybe that's just me as an American saying that, but when you say, this bastard over here, and it's like, oh, who cares? Especially, when they say it on, like, Game of Thrones or something, it's like, this bastard over here. I don't know, it's just fun to say. He's a bastard. That's not the point. The point is, it's like, this character has been very interesting over the course of this season. Like, the fact that he's just so horrible, but they just keep him around and they just keep going with him. It's very interesting. I have to say, it's very interesting, and Bill Pullman is selling it. Like, Bill Pullman is brilliant in this performance, but it's such a is such a hateable character. I don't know. He's one of the weirdest characters I've ever seen. So yeah. I like the whole thing with Gwen and the spy. Like, you know, like she's basically always known about him. It's like, because we never really got, like, you know, okay, what was he doing there? It's like, okay, he's spying on Gwen, obviously, but it's like, is he doing that for the police? Is he just doing a permanent stakeout of Gwen Cooper? So, yeah. But I like that she pretty much immediately, like, she completely knows, like, who he is and, like, what he's doing. And she just sort of, like, lets it happen until just eventually, you know, when they need to bring in Jack and stuff. So then she calls and she's like, hey, do you know where my keys are? I seem to have lost them. And he's just like, what? So that was hilarious. I like that. Yeah, the Harry Bosco, we talked about that. Jillian the story, that was interesting. Buenos Aires, I thought, like I said, I thought that was a good twist on it, that the miracle, the blessing seems to be going, it is connecting Buenos Aires with Shanghai. I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, that's really good. Really like that. Now, what is the blessing? That's what I'm confused about. What the hell is it? Like, when we looked at it, like, I guess I could look at it again, but like, let me look at it. Like, what is it? They just, like, go, and it's like this cavern, and things are falling into it, like, this way. Not to gravity, but this way. Presumably falling to Shanghai. Or no, they're in Shanghai. Falling to Buenos Aires. What the hell is it? Like they finally show us what the blessing is, and I'm just confused. And it's just like, you know, what do you see? And Jilly's like, I see that I'm right. And it's like, what are you right about? I'm confused. That was confusing. I'm looking at it and I don't know what the hell it is. So they're gonna have to explain that to me next episode. Yeah, because I don't get it. I don't know what that is. So yeah, that's interesting. And then the last thing I wrote down was the blood. The fact that Jack's blood is actually moving towards the blessing. That's a little ridiculous. Like, that's at the point where it's like, what is it doing now? And it's like, that's really weird, but okay. So yeah, I thought that's a bit of a stretch, that it's actually, Jack's blood is actually moving towards the blessing. I thought that was a little weird, but it is something to do with Jack's blood. From what we saw with, you know, the woman that took his blood in the flashback, and, you know, they keep saying it is something to do with his blood, you know, or we assume it has to be something that has to do with his blood. Those are words. And yeah, it's very strange. I don't know. I have no idea what this is. Why is blood? What is the blessing? I still don't know what it is. I'm looking at it and I don't get it. But we'll find out next time in the finale of Torchwood, the final episode. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Torchwood reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description.